I love the sound effects in the background.
Josh, of course you do, because we are excited. The ADHD kids are excited, and when ADHD kids
Hell yeah.
are excited, they make weird noises.
Hello and welcome to Murder Moose Podcast, part of the Slashing Cast Podcast Network.
It's in my ass.
Is it? I thought
What?
it was.
It's in the game.
Hey!
It's in my ass. And Ken,
It's in the game.
Ken kicked Brian off the podcast and replaced Brian with Bean, the kitty.
With Bean, please welcome everyone, the newest family member.
Oh my God.
Bean
All right.
is a sweet little Bean, and he is very happy to be here. And he goes to the vet tomorrow.
So cute.
He has to get his passport. Yeah, Brian's not kicked off the podcast. I'm only half a glass of champagne in. I am not drunk. Okay.
Dude, I had a couple drinks hanging out in Classy Katie's Discord the other night watching movies, and everyone's like, "Oh, Rod, you're drunk," and I'm like, "I'm not drunk," and they were just like, "Oh, Rod's a lush, Rod's a drunk, Rod's this." I'm like, "You motherfuckers."
I'm not as think as you drunk I am.
Exactly. I'm not as think as you drunk I am.
True Canadian.
Josh. I mean, a true Canadian, but Josh, she didn't understand the Canadianisms of Frankie Freako, and so they're gonna come to her like green card meeting, and they're gonna be like, "Ken, and how do you feel about Frankie Freako, the most Canadian movie of all time?"
I don't know about most Canadian, but holy shit, is it Canadian? It's fucking...
It is the most polite horror movie.
I like. Yes.
Okay.
This is
Josh. How are you, Josh? Josh has returned to talk about Frankie Freako because Frankie Freako is made by the director
Frankie Freako
of Psycho Goreman, and so it's kind of our legacy here. So Josh wanted to come back and talk about it, and we were like, yes, of course. And so Josh is here to talk about Frankie Freako. So,
and I am so glad Josh is back, and I would watch Frankie Freako a million times over to have Josh back.
Yeah.
I even made a poster for this movie, guys. This
Hell
is how
yeah,
much.
You did.
So a movie like this doesn't come around ever, and it's very special for this team to make anything for me because I just love the Canadian team behind this. Psycho Goreman is one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't wait to get Psycho Goreman on my body for the rest of my life. And as much as this movie will not live in the same vein as that, it's still in the same like ballpark as it. And I grew up loving these Gremlin style movies, and this one is just perfect.
Yeah, we'll get into it when we talk about it. But it has a lot of like reminiscent things of movies from my childhood that I was like addicted to, like and that things that I have fallen in love with as a horror fan over the years. But as you can see, Ken is still in America. I don't know why.
She just to grab kitties.
Yep.
To steal the cats. We were supposed to go back on Friday, but my mom and dad and Cats and I all talked, and we decided to stay an extra week because they wanted us to stay. They wanted us to stay for 3 weeks. And I was like, I've been here a month. Like, I need to get back to my cats. And so we're staying a week, and Cats and my dad are doing this huge project out back, and they're like completely revamping the inside of my dad's giant workshop and doing all this stuff. So he's working with my dad pretty much every day, hardcore working with my dad, and I've been helping a lot too. But yeah, so basically to spend more time with them because my aunts were here for a week, and then continue to spread the rumor / maybe it's true, maybe it's not, that we eloped over the weekend. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Ken was yelling at me on Discord the other day, and I was like, "Are you drunk, Ken?" And she's like, "I've only had 3 mimosas or something like that," or like, and she's yelling at me, and I'm like,
"Mimosas."
And to add to this, or drink champagne, and I'm like, I don't know about you guys. I always associate champagne with weddings, and that's when I was like, "Kin, did you get married?" To add more fuel to the kin fire, and so
I love the
yeah,
fire of it
yeah.
because we've been dropping in chats and he's been like my wife, and
My
I
wife.
do know, and I don't know if I should tell this, but I'm going to anyway. He did ask my parents' permission to ask for my hand in marriage this week.
And I have a good feeling you'll be. I'm like,
So
I'm gonna
your
I'm not
parents are
saying
like,
it.
wait,
I'm
but we're not
saying
in
it.
on the joke.
No, the best part was my dad being like, "Yeah, you need to get a baby in her if you're gonna have kids."
Whoa.
Noisy.
I
Kin's
was like,
uterus is
"Dad,
about to fall out.
stop."
She's 35 or about to
I'm
be
not 35. Yeah, fuck you. I have a
That-
good 3-ish, 2.5 months till I'm 35.
I was gonna
Suck
say you
my
have
ass.
less than 3 months. You're getting close to that. Don't say
No, go
you know.
fuck
And you know what happens at 35?
yourself.
35 means they go. Women's go. Their bodies go must have baby, and then their pussy goes ka-ching, and it's like slip and slide 24/7 until
Listen,
they're
I'm gonna
40.
be completely honest with you. Like, as the female on this podcast, I had signed off on kids. I decided about 5 years ago that it was not gonna happen. No way, no shape, no form. Had been very anti kids. And I'll be damned if all it took was just small little things over time. And then this weekend, it was like my biological clock was like, "Surprise, motherfucker! Here you go. We want babies."
It
I was
happened.
like, "Fuck off."
You get to your mid-30s and it just goes bam. It is like we're like you're on a marathon and you're like on that last mile and it's like must adrenaline dump, but it's must baby dump. Then you gotta,
Well, when we went into this relationship, when Katz and I went into this relationship, we went into it balls to the wall. These are the things we want. These are the things we do not want. This is what we expect out of a relationship.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. We're like, we're in our 30s. We're not doing this dance around thing. We both sat down. We're like, we do not want kids. Period.
Yeah.
End of discussion. Never gonna happen. You're never gonna change my mind.
noisy.
We both have been like,
But I kind of really love you now. Does this change things?
and then
Yeah.
a lot of things have changed because I see him with kids and with like small animals and not just animals obviously, but with kids, and I'm like, oh
Noisy.
fuck, there go my ovaries. I'm glad I didn't get those taken out. Like,
It's amazing what happens when someone shows you proper love and care.
it's just wild, man. It's so weird. Because like I wanted kids bad in my 20s, and then I came to terms with the fact that it wasn't it wasn't for me. I've got a lot of mental health issues. The world is fucking insane. Also, if you're here for horror movies, I'm sorry, I've turned this into girl podcast for a few
Girl
minutes.
talk.
Like I was very girl talk.
Girl
Ooh,
talk.
Dorito senpai.
1-900
was
Frankie
very-
Freako.
I want a
Yeah.
pumpkin spice latte because I'm a basic bitch.
That's right.
No,
and
it
my
would be
Stanley
PSL.
cup.
If you're a basic bitch, you call it a
Listen.
PSL. My nephew
It's a
works there
PSL in my
and said
Stanley.
people literally come up and can I get a grande
No.
PSL? I'm like,
They
they do.
not.
And it's
Are
like
you
every
serious?
day too.
Unacceptable. Well, anyway, I'm not married. I'm not pregnant. I did adopt a cat. We're just waiting to get the passport to take it to Canada.
Kim's new favorite musical artist is Taylor Swift. No.
While drinking a PSL on a
Look
patio,
at me.
sipping
I
champagne.
think this can't be.
Dude, so it was funny because we got into a stretch on Katie's stream the other day. Like she does this thing called Faded Friday where she smokes weed all day, and if you smoke weed, you can partake and listens to music. And at one point, I gave her the Josh. Have you heard the "I Prevail" cover of that Taylor Swift song?
Yes.
They cut, and so I sent her
Wait,
that
what?
"I
It's
Prevail." Yeah,
Is it on Spotify?
I think so. Yeah, and
Sorry, my son is sleeping. I can't move my other hand.
it was back from they were doing the Pop Goes Pop or Punk Goes Pop record back in the like 2000s.
I was fucking obsessed with
Yeah.
those, man.
Oh, Blank Space.
Yeah, it's like
When they did Blank Space.
Yep. And
Yeah.
so then we watched the original video, the Taylor Swift video. Great song, everything. But I'm just like, bitch, how do you make these music videos and not go, everyone's gonna think I'm crazy because that whole video is like that whole like the Taylor like yeah she does things on relationships that are fucking wacko, and you go that whole music video is just her being fucking insane, and you just go I know it's performance art, but I'm like, damn son,
Damn son, your titties. Sorry.
damn son, your titties. So yeah, it just made me laugh. Josh, how's everything going? You're out there doing things and being productive.
Wait, before Josh gets going, I just want to point out the fact that I am so thrilled and excited and ecstatic anytime that we get to work with Josh and Brian. Yep. Like having you guys around and having Josh back is like, and I don't want Brian to think that we don't love having Brian here, by the way. Keep in mind, I love Brian. I'm so glad Brian's here. I'm just so glad when Josh is here too. I get all emotional and squishy because Josh, you and Rod have changed my life in a lot of really positive ways, whether or not you know it. And I just really appreciate both of you. And I'm so glad you're here. So
love you, Ken. I mean, Ken,
we all love. Love.
So much love.
Yeah. We're gonna get freaky. I mean,
yeah. No, I've always loved you guys. I love this show. Yep. I love coming back when I can. And
we're also really happy and proud for you. So proud of you, proud for you.
I've been I've been busy-ish, but more in the like ways that I don't like being busy. And now it's all kind of starting to potentially pay off, which is very nice. I'm on the I'm on the cusp of like big things and being very extremely fucking busy in like new ways that I can't talk about yet until it's a thing.
Josh is the hitman for hire. Josh is a hitman for hire. He just can't talk about it on the
but it's all going to be life-changing stuff, which is great, and just elevate me into different places that I've never been, but like by myself and with my own company, just like elevating things to like a whole nother level, which I'm extremely proud of the hard work that I've been putting in. And even this app thing that was honestly just to like fill in some time and see if I could do it myself is kind of just like a cherry on top of everything else. But at the same time, when I do launch it, I don't want to make a shitty product. So I feel like it could have legs to be something bigger than I even imagine it could be as well. So it's all amazing stuff. And like HorrorCon as well is starting a new convention as well. That's going to be doing 2 each year. One I think is going to be like more sci-fi related. Nice. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing 2 conventions every year, and this year it's moving to like a bigger convention center and getting big. Like everything is just like leveling up in my life, which is fucking fantastic, and I'm fucking here for it, man.
Noisy. You deserve it, buddy.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you worked your ass off, dude. That's so awesome.
I'm very proud of you, Josh. I'm very proud.
And I got to see Norma Jean last night for the first time, like my favorite band for like over 20 years. And like, fuck, it was just great.
Josh is killing it. KILLING.
Hell yeah.
Killing it.
What about you, brother?
I mean, I'm just cleaning up the year, man. I raised $1,000 for charity last night.
Hell yes, dude.
That's sick, man. Don't downplay that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just saying I was proud of it.
But you're good.
So you did that.
Don't present it like that. Present it like the fucking champion that it is.
Present it like you've got that big dick.
Yeah.
I am Rod the Cod, Ken.
That's right.
I'm Rod the Cod.
Josh, were you here with Rod the Cod situation where he thought cod meant fish?
No.
Oh my God. So I've called him Rod the Cod now for like a couple years. And he thought I meant that he was a big fish.
I can't hear Ken for some reason.
What?
What's happening.
Oh.
I can hear her.
Well.
I could, like, you know how she talked about, no, it wasn't her. I think it was my setup. It don't matter. So. I think my fucking Rod.
But
your big old Rod.
I called him Clown Dick.
Clown Dick
on his stream one time, and it caught on way too hard.
Hell yeah!
Like, I don't go on Twitch often, but when I do, sometimes I make a presence in the chat because I don't chat often, but when I do, I go out of my way to be a fucking weirdo. And Clown Dick was a thing that really I didn't think it was going to catch on as hard as it did. That was a hard on.
Yep.
A hard on indeed.
Yep. It was something for sure. And then the Clown Dick thing came.
You are not allowed to let me have, like, I barely had any champagne. I had like maybe 1.5 of these, and I am.
Is that how your Discord like texts become?
Yes.
We're like, okay, so Sunday sounds great. So you're like, okay, so Monday? And I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's when I was asking Kim if she was wasted. And then she was married all of a sudden because she had like the champagne.
Surprise marriage!
Surprise, motherfucker!
Surprise, motherfucker! Oh, man.
Surprise.
Okay, anything else before we...
Supplies! That's what a janitor says when he jumps out of the closet.
Oh, my God. That was so bad. That was Somewhere Leaf is proud of that bullshit.
Yes.
Somewhere Leaf is proud of that bullshit. Anything else before we dive into Frankie Freako?
Yes. I went and saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre's 50th anniversary.
50th.
Was it 50th? In theaters in 4K. And oh my God, if you get a chance to do it, please, 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 I cannot recommend it enough. The quality that came out of that is phenomenal. Like, I thought I was watching a complete remake. It was so good. It was so much fun. I laughed the entire time. The detail is phenomenal. It's so much better than the Blu-ray version. Please go see it if it is still out in theaters. You will not regret it if you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. It was so good.
I only have him tattooed on me, so I don't know. Maybe not a fan.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up is, so I've always had issues saying horror. Love horror movies. Obviously, we do Murder Moose podcast every week, right? Like, whatever. I went into the Crocs outlet store because I really wanted to just see if they had any of the horror drop of the Crocs.
Yeah.
The girl was such a cunt. All right, sorry. Not sorry. She was like, I was like, do you have any of the horror Crocs in stock? And she was like, the what? And I was like, the horror Crocs. And she was like, I don't understand what you're saying. And I was like, boo, horror Crocs. And she was like, oh, well, why didn't you just say that? We don't have any of those.
Can I get a PSL, please?
What is Valley Girl doing in the middle of Tennessee is my next question.
My question is, like, I know that I have issues with speech. Like, obviously, I've got a lot of speech impediments that I still deal with on a regular basis. But, like, horror, horror.
It's not
like,
your
what
speech.
Do you want?
It's not your speech.
She's just fucking slow.
Yeah,
she was just a bitch.
No, that's not even a bitch. That's a dumb.
Fuck that hoe.
That's a dumb bitch.
No, don't fuck that.
Yeah.
Because then it's
don't fuck that hoe.
Fucking is a good thing.
Anyway.
That's like
I had it written down to talk about on my Mothman post-its.
I love your Mothman post-its. Okay.
My Mothman prostate? Okay.
I can't speak either. Weird. I'm on the same page as you. I think it's
that's fine.
I think it's hysterical that someone gave the Mothman statue a tramp stamp, and every time
they do all kinds of shit to it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mothman prophecy.
Mothman these nuts.
Mothman prophecy coming and giving back shots. Back shots.
Come as you come.
Come on.
I don't know what is happening.
I don't know either.
Murder Moose? That's what's happening. Same thing as always, Josh.
Oh.
Let's talk about Frankie Freako from 2024.
Frankie Freako.
It came out and I watched it the day it came out.
You want to read a summary,
Ken? Out and you came? Sure. Workaholic yuppie Connor is in a existential rut until one night he catches a bizarre ad for a party hotline hosted by a strange dancing goblin, Frankie Freako. Could this be just the recipe to spice up his boring life?
Dude, I have to say a couple things. One, where did they find this house that is like right out of 1987? Like this is like the most 80s house I've seen of all time.
Honestly, you could come on my street and all of them except mine, and maybe one other. Well, there's like a brand new like infill, but all the rest of them are owned by like older people that have never renovated their houses once. So they're all over the place, man.
Same thing. Yeah. And next, I want Josh to have a ponytail like the guy from and Psycho Goreman and the editor.
He's the dad from Psycho Goreman. He's one of my fucking favorites. Every time he's in a movie, no. I think the crew is from Manitoba, I believe.
Oh, Manitoba. Ew.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Sorry.
Right? Or maybe that was the Black Fawn dudes. I don't know.
No, I just know that anytime that Manitoba or Moose Jaw get brought up, it's usually Manitoba that everybody in the province that I'm in they're like,
no, that's any province but Manitoba. Like you just kind of skip Manitoba. Seriously, it's like it's on the way from where I am to Ontario, and then it's also in the middle of anywhere good that is if you're in Ontario or Quebec or something. Like, yeah. There's nothing going on in Manitoba.
Manitoba.
Except for fun filmmakers, I guess.
Man,
they got nothing better to do. They just make fun films.
Definitely. This movie, Ken didn't like it, but this movie is fun. And all I can think of watching
Okay, what did you grow... I need to know, and I'm glad you didn't, because I know so many people will hate this, and I'm going to unapologetically keep telling people to watch this and hope they don't like it, just so I can be like, fuck you.
So what you're saying is fuck you to Ken?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, that's valid. I honestly think like watching it and then reading a bunch of reviews on it after the fact, I think that had I grown up with Garbage Pail Kids, had I grown up with very specific niche,
you're literally 5 years too young, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Because when I was watching it, and Katz watched it too, and granted, Katz is a baby.
Katz is even younger than you. Yeah.
Oh shit, he's not gonna get. 30. There's so many references in this movie the whole way through. I was just like, oh my god, it's so bang on. Like all the like stupid things that 90s movies did wrong by accident. This one like honed in on purpose. And oh my
Kim,
god.
I want to tell you a story that I don't know if I've ever told on the podcast before, and I don't think I have. When I was a kid, they used to have the dirty phone numbers still, and like when I would go to the go to the grocery store.
I remember the dirty phone.
Yeah, I know.
I called one once.
I called them not from. I called the 1-800 numbers from the versions of them that like dial like after the 1-900 number stopped being or whatever, and I called the one as a teenager like at the grocery store just to hear the sexy lady talking. It was the 1-800 number. It wasn't 1-900, but I was just like,
I got shit.
I didn't do, dude. I used to order like pay-per-view pornos when my friends came over and watch them in the middle of the night because like I was a horny 12-year-old.
Did your parents ever say anything?
No,
about it?
They never saw them because my parents don't pay attention to the fucking shit like that. So I got away with that one. The only one I ever got in trouble for was going into my dad's laptop and typing in like www.bigboobs.com. He goes, I can see your website history, you idiot. And I'm like, oh.
See, I don't know if I was just always a hacker or something, but I just knew the back doors of all this back doors. Oh,
I was just saying,
all this stuff. Yeah. My mom put like Net Nanny on the fucking computer, and I was like, well, this is stupid. And then I found a way to like make it not work anymore. Like a week later, I was like, well, sorry, Mom, Net Nanny just seemed to not work anymore. Just go into the folder and delete a few DLLs or whatever.
So you think your issues with this film were you're not getting references and whatnot? Is that what you're saying?
I think that could have been a little bit of it. The beginning, there were moments that were kind of funny, and I was like, oh, haha, whatever. But then as it progressed, I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I get it, you vape. No, like the whole time I was just kind of like, okay. And then, I could see it. I will say I did love the cowgirl character, the shooter character.
Yeah.
And I did love his wife.
Dottie.
Oh my God.
That's my daughter's name.
Dottie. I love the name Dottie. We used to have a friend in high school that we called Dottie. It had no relation to her name other than the fact that I liked the movie A League of Their Own, and Dottie is the name of the character in A League of Their Own. But I loved that character. I thought she was great. And the wife. I loved the wife. But otherwise, it was just kind of meh. Like,
Dude,
it
those
was
are the characters
funny.
that you would have in this to relate to. So that makes
Right.
sense that you would like those characters over the others. I see this as like one big inside joke, and if you're not in on it, you're not gonna get it whatsoever.
Dude, I was amazed at like the like from the get-go where he has the sex scene where he just
Oh, that was great, though. That was
Holding
really
hands.
funny.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
He's like, baby, you're great. She's like in the sexy lingerie, and he
She
just
just
grabs
can't
her
wait to
hand.
get it in.
Yeah.
She's hot AF. Like,
Oh, dude, she's hot.
pretty
And
skinny, though, like scary thin. Her face is very, very thin.
Yeah, she
but
went on a work trip. And the whole
what?
time.
it's called you mean a gangbang? No, I mean you find out in the last scene why she left. She left so that Frankie Freako could make her husband less of a boring
a little
square.
bitch.
A square.
Yeah, all of those other than
a
little bitch.
square. Dude, this
You're
movie is
feisty.
I am feisty.
This movie is just so weird on every level, and I fucking love it. From like fart soda to like
Oh my god,
like,
I was obsessed with fart. But this movie was definitely taking off of like the whole Bart mania thing for sure. Like, because Bart Simpson just ruled the 90s. Like, and everyone was a brat because Bart Simpson was like the #1 thing in the 90s. So this movie was like, it's definitely taking a cue from, oh yeah, I'm Bart Man.
Yeah. I swear to God, the director of this movie loves fucking with the dude, the boss, because obviously he was the dad on Psycho Goreman. And this, he like
the glue.
he's a criminal who steps in a bear trap.
I love this
and
part.
then
Same thing over there.
and then they just leave him on the floor, glued to the floor, and that's
Merry
like, where
Christmas. It's the best fucking thing. Oh.
Dude, the practical effect, dude, this movie is like Child's Play, like the original Child's Play, where like they have the legs.
Ghouls.
Yeah, they have. Well, I mean that too, but like it just reminds me of all the scenes in the original Child's Play.
That's why I did the poster on the toilet, man. Ghouls.
Yeah.
No one's gonna get
Ghoulies.
No one's gonna get
Ghoulies?
the reference, and no one's gonna. Yeah,
The Ghoulies,
Ghoulies.
man. The Ghoulies.
Ghoulies.
I need to watch the Ghoulies. I actually had never heard of the Ghoulies until this last weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a pretty. I mean, again, you're back to you being a youngin, but the practical effects stuff, like, and then like just the videotapes, like this was
shoot.
the Ghoulies. Yeah, Ghoulies. Same thing. What happened, Josh?
I don't know. Something
Wrong
happened.
one. You're
I
on the
know. I
Brian
just
one.
accidentally deleted that scene. Oh.
Oh man. No, I mean then now you just need a picture of Brian going. Same thing.
Oh,
Oh,
I just
man.
undid it.
There you go.
There we go.
But dude, it's the thing that shows through Psycho Goreman that shines into this movie is just you can tell how much these dudes love movies
Ghoulie.
and how much they love like creating stuff, right? And the fucking practical effects in this movie are fantastic. Like I think the tone is what threw Ken off. It sounds like, and the tone is weird, man. This movie is not. It's one of the weirder movies we've done in this podcast in over 200 episodes, and that's saying a lot. But
it's because I came out of nowhere, left field. You guys are just over here doing your thing, and I come out of nowhere. Fuck you! Watch this movie, and I'm coming back on the podcast, and you're like, "Oh shit, okay, fine."
Dude, I mean,
Come.
I mean, if we would have known you were interested, we would have done it anyways. But yeah, I didn't know it was like I didn't know it was out already. That's what I'm saying.
And the funny part
I
is,
knew it was out because Glitter asked me to go see it with him, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time, and not because of the movie itself. Just I didn't really have time.
Yeah.
this one was completely not on my radar whatsoever, and I was at my tattoo artist shop talking like social media stuff or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, have you heard of Frankie Freako?" And I was like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?" He's like, it's the dudes that did Psycho Goreman. I was like, oh, and then it came out like the week later. I was like, fuck, I'm here. I'm here.
Same thing.
It's just, man, the practical effects in this movie just are wonderful. And it's just like, it's weird because like the last act of this movie where they go back to the Freako home planet is even like, it's this movie, like budget seems to go up in that third act where like most of this movie takes place in this little 80s, 90s house in Canada in the middle of nowhere. And then they go to the office at some point. But then it's like, then they go to this other universe, this other galaxy, this other dimension, wherever the fuck it is, and it goes the budget seems like it goes up significantly. It's kind of like the the intro scene from Psycho Goreman where they're like going into his backstory. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
I love that they just keep smacking his ass too. He's like wearing that purple leotard and just like, oh, the cute one, spank his ass again.
Dude, I was laughing the whole time after his glasses get fucked up and he's just running around the rest of the movie with like one broken lens and like I'm
that
like
was pretty funny.
This seems dangerous. This seems
It's on point.
This seems
it's
dangerous.
on point.
Yeah. But yeah, like the practical effects are fucking awesome. Like the characters are funny.
The
Like
Ghoulies, they're amazing. I just love that he is so punk rock and unapologetic, and I love all the references to different huge 90s movies. Like the first thing they do is set up a whole bunch of booby traps in the house, like Home Alone. And there's even the swinging fucking paint cans and everything.
I did like that reference.
Yeah. Dude, that is like, and then they're like writing, what do they write? They like write butt
Fart.
on the wall. And
Or
fart.
butt, yeah.
They have fart, and then he makes it say button. Was it button? When he's like cleaning up at the end. Let's be honest, that house needed to be fucking fixed anyways because holy shit. It was
fantastic, man. It was fantastic.
It was hideous. That house was hideous. It was
perfect.
Hideous. And then they do the Donkey Kong cart section. It comes into the middle of the living room. Kim, did you find any cool facts for Frankie Freako?
No.
Kim's like, I will not spend
No. Honestly, I did look. I looked pretty exponentially. There was one thing that I found really interesting that did put it into perspection or perspective for me. Oh my god.
Perspective. That's all. You're good.
Perspective, thank you.
There you go.
Once I read Garbage Pail Adults, I was like, I get it.
Same thing.
I get it. Trolls and Ghoulies mashup, Howard the Duck, Garbage Pail Kids. And I was like, got it.
You know, I never did anything with the Garbage Pail Kids, even though I was born in and grew up in the 80s. But like, I always remember seeing them, but I never, like had Garbage Pail Kid cards. They were mostly the cards, right? Josh?
Yeah, I had a bunch of the cards.
They were like baseball cards, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
but
stickers
then
or whatever.
And then they came with the gum in the pack. And that's why I like them.
Didn't they have toys too at some point?
They had like, those little or
balls?
you probably can't see them. The balls. I have the like Jason and Freddy ball right there, like the monster balls.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of those as well, and I had those when I was a kid, and that's why I wanted these balls, because I was like, oh, I had the Garbage Pail Kid ball things when I was a kid. So now I got the Jason and Freddy. And I was okay. Also, we didn't talk about Halloween. It just fucking happened. Did you guys do anything for it? Like, I don't know if you guys do follow me on social media, but you didn't, or I doubt you've saw any of my like haunt stuff. We went to town this year and I was full Freddy, like full on Freddy this year.
That. Yeah, it is.
And it was fucking fantastic because like the last like 3 years or 4 years, I was Mike Myers, and I would stand in the same spot. And the last 2 years, I heard like a bunch of kids be like, oh, he was Mike Myers last year, so I know he's going to scare me as Mike Myers. So this year, I dressed up a mannequin because Diana works at Macaj now, and they were getting rid of the like expensive ass mannequins that they have at the store. And they're like, yeah, just take it. So we had these two more mannequins, and I dressed up one like Mike Myers as like a decoy. And then I was over here pretending to be an animatronic Freddy, and got every single one of those kids. They're like, oh,
That's
he's
great.
gonna be Mike Myers. I'm like, nope. It's awesome.
Now all
Just
you have,
win, bitch.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's prime time, bitch. Now, Josh, now you made me your ADHD me. Now you made me think. Did you see Terrifier 3? Do you have
Oh,
thoughts?
I went in the theater by myself, man. Like I'm morbid as
Nice.
fuck, and I
Yeah.
love it. And it was fantastic. It was.
Yeah,
It's not as good as the
it's real
second
good.
one, but
I actually liked it better than 2. But
I mean, story wise, I had that feeling of what other movies are doing now. Like, you know, you go and see that new Spider-Man cartoon movie, and it's not a full movie. It's this fucking commercial for another movie, and I hate that. And this one felt like I was like, you know, 3/4 of the way through the movie, I was like, they're not doing the thing where storylines are wrapping up. They're just dragging things on. And then it ends in that way where it's like, oh, which is cool. And I love that there's going to be more and more because it's a wicked character. And to be honest, the special effects are better than any other horror movie out there right now. Like, because they're willing to go there. It's way more horrific than anything out there. And I went and saw Smile 2 like a couple days after, and it's fun. It's good. I like that that's doing its thing too. But then at the same time, it's like that's way bigger budget. And the special effects look like shit in comparison to Terrifier 3. Like, so yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. I think that the art, the scene in the bar with Clint Howard is one of my favorite scenes ever.
There's so many scenes in this that like literally I was thinking about for over a week later. Like obviously the shower scene is gonna just go down in history. It was fucking fantastic.
Kim, you haven't watched it yet, have you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
And just like he is such a character, and the glasses, he's someone that you're like, fuck, I love this character, and you're not supposed, or you are. Like he's got.
Did you see the videos of him in a Spirit Halloween scaring people? Like
no,
he was in a Spirit Halloween the week it came out, like, and people thought it was just a Art the Clown thing, and it was
because they were
really
selling
him,
that.
Yeah. And then so he was scaring the shit out of people. The other thing that was with him, it was funny. It was him wandering around some convention, and like the convention handler was with him, and he found a baby, and he was like, and she said, "No, Art, you can't eat the baby." And he's like, I was like, I love this dude.
Watch
so,
it, Ken.
like,
you will not be disappointed.
I might. I'm just
crazy.
gonna say that I've already decided that if I have to punch a baby, it does not matter. On Thursday night, I will be seeing Heretic. Like, it is the only movie I've really been looking forward to this year.
Yeah.
Turns out I'm going to be in the States at big movie theaters. You bet your asshole I will be there. Like, I'm about to order tickets. I'm going. I do not care if I have to go by myself. Cats and Dad can stay here together and work on shit. I do not care. I will.
You got to get somewhere
theater.
more populated in Canada that has a movie theater.
Listen, it's once I get a car, I can go to Regina more.
Yeah, but that's still like 2 hours you said away or something, like, or like that's kind of crazy. But
but when your town is when your town is a tenth of the size of Letterkenny, it's
yeah, like I want to see Smile 2, so like I'm trying to figure out if I can stack it to where I can watch Smile 2 and watch Heretic like the same night. But I don't
I'm
know
sure
if
it will be on my
Cat's
Plex like next week. Like things are coming
because I want to watch Smile 2. But...
They're coming through so much fucking faster nowadays. Like it's like a 30-day window max now for anything, and then it's on Plex. So like honestly, not a big deal. But you like going to the movies like we do, so you're it's a thing. Like I either am working day and night, or I'm like, oh, because Diana has 2 jobs now and is literally working day and night every day almost. And if I don't want to work at night, I literally just go, what's playing, and just go because it's at the mall that she works at. And then my movie gets out when she's done work, and it just works out. So I just choose to see, and there's been so many good fucking movies to see. So like, I feel for you, Ken.
It's been a good year for horror, man. Like it's funny because it like started off a little slow, but man, it's there's been a lot of really good things out, and it's like
Twitter said that this year is going to be one of the best years in horror in like the last 15 years.
Well, definitely the most. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I've seen so many come through all at once. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Well, the shit like you hit September and August, and that shit just started coming out at like at a rapid fire pace, and now we've got all these other things happening where it's like coming. Do you know, Josh, like what like I'm curious on to what that's like was the whole like Garbage Pail Kid / meets the Ghoulies kind of what they inspired them to make this movie? Do you know?
I think
Did they
just
have
being Canadian was what.
Dude, that's what I was thinking the whole time.
I think because like this team was like, okay, the editor, we want to do our Giallo film, and they fucking nailed that. Like the editor is fucking fantastic. Like of all the Giallo films, the thing they do is they pick a subgenre or whatever they want to do, and they hone in on all the things, and they just they nail it in a comedic, like off whatever Canadian way, and it's just nailed. And then Psycho Goreman was nailed again, and this one is choosing that 90s Ghoulies like puppety aesthetic. And I think honestly the reason this movie like speaks to me on such a different level is like when I was 13, I got this busted little DV camera from my stepdad. It didn't even like have a viewfinder, and we had just like gone to Disney World like the year before or whatever, and I got this like puppet, and I put my Jason mask on him and made little like Chucky style movies with this puppet. And my friends would come over and get their heads chopped off and stuff, and I did like so many of the like things that they did in this movie, and it brought me back to such like nostalgic things, not just like watching it, but also like creating these like stupid fucking homemade puppet horror movies when I was a kid. And like I have like such a soft spot for like anything done with this movie. Has so much heart, like so dude, much heart, and all their movies do. And
dude, I mean, it's that thing where you just go, these guys just love this. They are having fun, they're loving what they're doing. Like, dude, it's weird. This movie is like pretty tame for most of it.
It's very PG, very PG.
Until you get to the like, especially when you get to the like the final act where they kind of go to that the Freako homeworld or whatever, and it picks up a little bit. Like that boss monster guy who is getting around a chainsaw and going after him a little bit is probably the most hardcore part of that movie. But like, yeah, this movie is like, I don't even like. I don't think it's rated. Is it rated? I can't even tell you if it's rated. But
it's
I didn't pay attention to that.
It's funny, like when I was watching this, Dinah comes up like, "Oh, what are you watching?" I'm like, "Oh, Frankie Freako. I love it. You're gonna hate it." And she's like, "What?" And tries to like attempts to sit down, and then sees the ghoulies just like, "Hey, man!" And she's like, "Nope," and walks away. I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna hate it."
No way that. Okay, keep going, because I just found a rating that cannot possibly be right.
It can't be
NC-17.
It's a G, so I know it's not right.
Yeah, it's not a G. It could be PG-13, but
honestly, this could easily be a PG movie in Canada. Like,
because you don't have PG-13.
We have 14A, and there's no way this would even like have to be granted a 14A. There's no like real violence. There's no swearing really, and like
it's all
any of the adult like things are so like over the head of any kid. Like it's like, dude, oh yeah, just make sure that you're the one doing the documents in front of that camera. It's like kid isn't going to understand what's going on.
G.
Yeah, very easily.
There's blood in it though. That's why the only reason.
Oh yeah, he definitely has blood on his neck and stuff. So like that should be granted a PG rating. But that's crazy.
And when the fucking chainsaw monster guy gets shot in the face, like,
and the other guy gets his face melted too, like, but they're just puppets, right?
You know what? You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of the cop from Psycho Goreman.
Oh, totally.
Well, dude, what? Okay, my next thing is, what is it with these guys?
Are you kidding? Where did you find that?
Yeah. I searched it. I searched the movie itself, and then I kept looking because it said G next to it, and I was like, "There's no way." And then I did age rating, and the MPAA rating is G in the USA.
Same thing.
You guys are
Dude.
freaks.
What is it
Bunch
with
of freaks in the sheets. Sorry.
this director and the word heck? Because he
Oh,
says
heckin', heckin', yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm the
Heckin' yeah.
heckin' best.
Well, the
Yeah,
dude's a square.
yeah,
He
yeah.
can't say a square. He's a square.
Same thing.
Remember,
know,
they
but-
allow swearing on the television now.
Yeah, they said shit, right? Isn't that like
Mhm.
put you out of G?
It should put you into PG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Like, but
I don't think
there's no way
The
this is
rating
there's
board
no-
was like,
yeah, they were
"This
fucking.
has puppets."
They were just drinking too much champagne, I think.
Well, dude,
Oh, speaking of which, I'm out. Let's go get some more.
you go, Ken.
No,
I'm the
joking.
heckin'
Beans
best.
asleep.
What did he say at the beginning? What the H? He's like, what the? He doesn't even. He says, what the H? Like literally, that was his line. I'm like,
I just
oh my
anything
God.
with Adam Brooks, he's too good. He's too heckin' good.
Is that the boss, Adam
Yeah.
Brooks?
Yep.
Yeah. He's so hateable. He pulls off being hateable so well. I mean, that's like him and Psycho Goreman is the hateable dad. In this
Yeah.
movie, he's the hateable boss with his ponytail that he's just like playing with and flipping around. He's just like, oh, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to come in and shred these That's how stupid this dude is. He's like, okay, I'm gonna come in and shred documents on camera because that isn't like obvious that this is
No
a problem.
prob.
How is that dude still alive in the basement? He was glued to the basement floor. It reminded me of the Nightmare 4 when the roach, or was that 5 with the roach trap, or was that 6? I don't know, with the roach trap where the chick turns into the roach and like yeah, that's what it kind of reminded me of, but way less gross. But
I don't know.
All I know is
don't
that
know.
the guy that plays
Same thing. Same thing.
the main guy, Connor Sweeney, he can step on me.
He's a dweeb. And we know Ken
And
as a type of dweeby dude, so it's
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
She liked the
Duh.
purple onesie and spanking his butt.
that's right.
I mean, you
As soon
got
as that scene happened, she's like,
It was over.
yeah.
It was just
Dude,
I went
knew-
to Niagara Falls from my pussy. Okay, sorry.
Ken needed a wet floor sign in between her legs.
That's why
Not
the
really.
mop
He
thing.
wasn't that cute. But yeah, that's why we have suds.
Yeah.
Suds is there for pussy cleanup.
That's right.
He's
Sorry,
like,
suds.
yum.
Avert your ears.
Dude, I'm not surprised though, Ken, because this movie is so Psycho Goreman is weird, but it is weird.
I
Oh,
really
wait.
love
I got to
Yeah.
show you this thing I got.
No, I don't want to see.
Josh, consent. We don't want. No, Josh, put it away, Josh. No, I don't want to see that, Josh.
Oh,
No,
not your penis. I've seen it too many times.
not your penis, Josh. What'd you get, Josh?
Just kidding.
Uh,
Let me see.
what? Pussy. I got
No.
pussy. At
You
the.
got-
No. 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 No.
That's
Psycho
amazing.
I got it at there was an artist at the Calgary Horror Con, and she's like, "You're the first person to actually know who the fuck it actually was. Like literally the first person." And I've been here for 2 fucking days. Everyone thinks it's Jeepers Creepers, and I was like, "Well, those people are fucking assholes." That's
Did you
Psycho
tell her you
Goreman.
were?
Yeah.
Did you tell her you were an official hunky boy?
No.
You should have told her.
You said, did you tell her who you are?
Yeah, I'm a big fucking deal. I'm an official hunky boy. They sent
Yeah.
me
Oh.
fucking Valentine's
A Valentine's-
Day card.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Can you sign up for that?
No, it was
No.
because we were
We promoted
promoting
it.
the movie so much, like when it came out,
Early,
that they
yeah.
sent us. Yeah, they
Like
sent
literally
us,
every episode we talked about it. And they're like,
It was like
you're
Psycho
the
Goreman,
fucking
Psycho
original
Goreman,
hunky
Psycho-
boys.
Yeah. I lost that card somehow, and I don't know where the fuck it went. But I was so sad when I couldn't
That's
find
sad. I can't believe
Yeah.
you did that.
Well, and
Disgusting.
these types of movies, like the other like Canadian team that did like Wolf Cop and then another Wolf Cop and stuff, like I adore what they're doing, and I like scream it from the rooftops and stuff. So they they reward you with it. Like I have the signed Wolf Cop like picture right there where he's like, doing the fucking George
Yeah.
Costanza on his own skin, and the like Wolf Cop toy. Like I got a full toy and stuff signed by him too, and like that type of shit. I fucking love it. Like I want more of these. I think there's like 4 main Canadian groups or production houses making like actually good fucking horror in Canada, and I want them all to succeed so badly that I will always promote Canadian horror to the highest level I can because I fucking love it.
Oh, another one I wanted to ask you about as a side quest. Did you watch Oddity? Did you like Oddity?
I didn't see it. No.
Okay.
Oh, you should
I'm
check out
interested
Oddity.
in your opinion on that one. It's a cool movie. I say that because it's another small horror movie that I thought had the best vibes of a horror movie this year. Like maybe the creepiest. It wasn't my favorite, but it was up there. It definitely in my top 10. But like I enjoyed it a lot. So it's on
Oddity.
Plex. I mean, I watched it
Yeah,
already. So yeah.
What?
We watched it for the podcast like a month or so ago. We were trying to hit up like all these. That's been the weirdest thing, man. Kid knows we've been trying to hit up a lot of these new releases that people talk about, and it's been hard because there's been like so many coming out at the
Too
same fucking
many.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of
You're
them
just
came
like,
out on the same fucking week because October was like, what are you going to do? Is it going to be a week before Halloween or the week of Halloween? Or there's already 15 other movies coming out both those weeks.
dude, I started up Silent Hill 2, the remake, and oh man, it's mostly pretty good. There's way too much combat in it, but I'm really enjoying it. So it's been a great time for horror enjoyers, So
Did you watch It's What's Inside? It's
not
kind
yet.
of
That's
horror-ish, but not really.
the Netflix one where they're all switching bodies. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a fun movie. It was fun.
I hadn't seen anything about that, but now I'm looking at it. It looks
It's
interesting.
you'll have a fun time with it. It's really fun.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that it looks like cool. I don't know. Oh, also Ken, I was talking to my sister, my trans sister, and she's interested in coming to talk about I Saw the TV Glow. So if we want to do that at some point, it would be fun.
I would be totally down for that. Yeah, I would feel much better about that if we had some representation for that.
My trans nephew, it said like watching that movie, it is so on point, and he's like, I feel so heard. It was like crying during the movie and just like totally. I haven't seen it yet, but like he's like, I think a lot of the nuances in it, they're not so heavy handed or in your face that you're not going to catch it. But because I have gone through those exact things, I was just like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh,
that's what my sister said.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that is how they went about it, because if you're heavy handed with a message like that, but it's because the filmmaker is trans as well. And of course they're going to get it on that level. I'm really interested. It looks fucking fantastic. I didn't even know it was about anything like that.
So I watched it, and it reminded me of like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's what kind of it like, gives you like the Are You Afraid of the Dark vibes. And then oh my God, look at that kitten! Holy shit, he's passed the fuck out.
He's been asleep in my lap the whole time, and I just had to move my legs, so I picked him up, and I thought he'd wake up, but he's out.
But yeah, so I watched it, and I'm like, it's good. And I'm like, and then Ken watched and picked up none of that.
Oh my God.
Because it's not my experience, Josh. And so Ken watched it and then looked into it, and she's like, oh, this is good. And I'm like, what? The lights went on, and I'm like, oh, that completely makes sense. But like you were talking about, Josh, it's not heavy handed. But it nails that like vibe of like what that is. My sister was telling me how much it made her cry watching, and because of all that stuff. So
nice.
So,
but that's good to see. Good to hear.
We were gonna cover it, and I was like, "There's something," and I read into it, and I was like, "Nope, I don't want to cover this without someone that can speak from their perspective on this." Like that's gonna work.
Yeah.
What else have you guys did? Cuckoo, right?
Yep.
I did like. I thought it was a wacky trying to be something, but it was.
I thought it was a fairy tale. It was a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And Ken told me I had to watch I watched a 45-minute YouTube documentary about cuckoo birds beforehand. And I'm like, which kind of made me realize what earlier what was happening because I was like, I just watched this documentary about them shoving eggs into nests and then the nests taking them out and resource allocation and shit like that.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah, and so I like Cuckoo a lot. It was weird, and Dan Smith is fucking or is just
No.
that man. I just keep loving him more and more. His terrible German accent is just fantastic in that movie.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny because I was thinking about him the other night because I was watching Spiderweb again, the one with the one Hemsworth brother,
Yeah,
and I got to thinking, you know, he's really good at those characters too, and it's too bad that he's not put more into those style characters and is so pigeonholed into these like characters based on physique, I guess. But anyway, sorry, I was just that. Yeah,
no, you don't have to
Why you
apologize.
what? Why?
Yeah.
What? Why? Fuck you.
fuck
Sorry.
you,
Hey, fuck you. Anytime you say sorry, I'm just gonna be like, fuck you.
fuck you,
Hey, fuck you.
hey,
Fuck you,
fuck you.
fuck you. But no, like this. I
Fuck
think
you.
that the whole difference, like with, I completely think Frankie Freako is like we'll go back to it. Is like I think I have to ask like you had to have appreciated like the movie itself like make how it's made and the
Yeah,
acting all
absolutely.
this shit. It's just
Yeah, I did
the
love the
tone.
puppeteering, and I liked like I enjoyed it, but it
Yeah,
wasn't. It was one of those movies that I could tell
No.
was
No.
not
wasn't
made
made
for
for
me.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was made for me.
yeah.
Me
it
Like
was made.
specifically.
Katz was like,
Yeah,
"This is the worst movie ever." Blah blah blah, and I was like, "It's not very good, but it's definitely for someone.
But
I am
yeah,
not some
also,
or
if
one."
you and it's a funny thing too. If you're sitting beside someone that does not like something, it
Oh yeah,
instantly,
how quickly it
oh yeah, then you're
infiltrates
like, wait a
and
second,
influences you.
yeah. I'm like, shit, because like I I remember back in the day, like fuck, I've been talking about and reviewing movies on and off,
No.
more so off lately, but like with my buddy Ben years and years and years ago. And we used to go and see movies twice a week in theaters to talk about 2 to 4 movies on our like thing that we were doing, the rebrew
yeah,
stuff. And him and I and our top 10s at that time were like identical lists in different fucking like orders and stuff. Like because we
yeah,
were our biggest influence on one another and stuff. And then
yeah,
it's funny when he then got married and we weren't hanging out as often and stuff. The influence that was beside us was not one another, and our lists were fucking polar opposites at that point. He was so
yeah,
different after that, and like his opinion was not
No.
what it used to be and stuff. I was like,
yeah,
this is an interesting like character study on you as a person and how you're, I don't know, like
No.
the things that or just like daily routines and stuff change how you're doing things and
yeah.
stuff, right? So
Well,
it's
dude, I mean, we've done best of now the last 2 years, right? Like the last couple of years of like, and we'll have one in December here. We'll do one. It's when you're watching the same movies and like we talk about it with each other and we discuss these things and like so we kind of get on that same wavelength and like I I knew this movie was weird. Like as I was watching, I'm like, this movie's fucking odd. And I was like, I totally dig it. I'm like, I don't actually. I got done watching. I'm like, I want to watch this again already because I like. It's it's one of those movies that the tone is so kind of wonky that like it kind of throws you off a little bit. Like you're like you don't. I didn't go in
I just love
expecting a
how
PG movie.
I love how all in it is because even for me loving this movie, it's still not going to be one that I'm going to gladly put on several times like I do Psycho Goreman. Like Psycho Goreman's already
Yeah,
been rewatched like 5 or 6 times and will
yeah,
continue to have that rewatchability. This one doesn't have that as much. Maybe for like some of the lulls, it's more background
yeah,
type stuff, but Psycho
yeah.
Goreman is now an
Forever.
instant
Yeah.
classic for so many people and people love the character. This is not going to go down that same like path for sure. It's going
No.
to be
I
yeah.
need to show Katz Psycho Goreman. I think Katz might like Psycho Goreman. Maybe not. Maybe Katz is too young for Psycho
No,
Goreman.
because it's
No, I
about
think it's more
the
universal
little
though.
girl. Yeah, it's about the little girl, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
and
little
she's such a fucking wicked character.
yeah.
Like
It's
the praying scene just like solidifies how fucking badass she is. She's just like, who the
she's like,
fuck am I praying to? Fuck you, bitch! Like
and breaks the
breaks the
fucking
cross.
cross.
Fuck
Yeah.
yes,
Dude,
you're
I did
badass.
laugh when he gets the cross out of that weird
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
like locked up thing, and I'm like, why is it locked up? And they never explain. Like,
They
it
don't
just
need
implies
to.
that Frankie. Yeah, it kind of implies that Frankie's like a demon or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like,
Yeah,
and
100%.
it's
Because that's how they
oh
get him
man,
to. That was like his power move. It's just like, hey, Frankie.
yeah, and that's how they melted the boss. I was gonna say one more thing, like about another side step. Have
Side
you been
quest.
watching the last season of What We Do in the Shadows?
No, I don't watch.
I haven't.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't been watching it.
Oh man. Oh, I forgot you don't watch.
I don't have
Josh.
Hulu in the Great White North.
It's on Plex.
I do now, but I didn't.
The whole
well,
series is on Plex.
fuck.
And
Fuck
all
me.
the new
Hey,
episodes
can
go.
we get updated? Can we get updated Bob's Burgers as they come out too, please?
They are.
Because watching those on somebody. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
It's been on there since Rod like harassed me like a few weeks in a row to watch it, and then that became the meme that I will never, ever.
You know what's funny? I think you said that you would watch it as soon as Ken watched Psycho Goreman, and that means that Ken has watched Psycho Goreman, which means you need to watch Bob's
I would
Burgers.
never say anything like that.
That's okay. You don't have to watch it. It's okay. We'll just one day.
If it was a movie, that's different. Like, okay, now watch 8 seasons of a show you don't want to watch. It's like, suck my dick.
It's 13 seasons or something
Okay.
like that.
16 seasons. We're on season 15 plus a movie.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
fake fans.
I've seen the movie randomly.
Well, then, but you don't really know what's going on with the movie. Like, if you've
Yeah.
only, I don't know.
It's just a weird musical movie that you don't understand because you don't get all the references.
Oh,
yeah.
I went and saw fucking Joker, La Tula Fucka Foo Poo.
Why?
Oh, you did?
Okay,
Why?
No, I went and saw it the Thursday before it came out, and I didn't know there was no like huge, and it was just one of those days. Like I was like, oh shit, I got nothing. I'm just gonna go and see a movie, and I was like, Beetlejuice 2. It was the only other one that I was on at the time, and I was like, I kind of want to watch it with Diana, show her the first one, blah blah blah, right? So I didn't end up seeing it, and I wish I just went and saw it because Joker was okay. I've never been so like, I don't like giving up either and walking out because it's like, oh, I want to try and give the artist the benefit of the doubt. There's no redeeming quality to this movie other than both of them are great actors and they're still doing good acting in this movie.
Yeah.
But what the fuck? I was so actually angry, like full on upset. I was like, I'm fucking pissed off. Like, I'm so pissed off right now that I fucking was put through how terrible this fucking movie is. I don't understand how anything. So, like, yes, this movie is funny, whatever. It's amazing in comparison to so much bullshit out there. Joker can suck a fucking dick. And I'm so glad that Terrifier 3 came out the next week and was just like, I'll show you what a clown can actually do. Highest grossing NC-17 film of all time. Fucking get it, man. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it crossed 50 million last weekend. So like,
So
I don't
fucking
know what it's
cool.
going to be at now. Yeah.
I love to see it. And like in Canada, like, you know, NC-17 movies are here. It's just like full not rated. And the amount of like, when you buy a ticket, you got ID. When you got your ticket scanned or ripped, they would ID you. And then at the theater door, there was 2 security guards and a paramedic person, like, would not let you in until they ID'd you again, a third fucking time.
You guys feel, since you guys have seen it, do you feel it was necessary?
But it doesn't matter. Like, it adds to the whole homage.
Right.
And even though, like, I believe no. Like, but the opening scene was, you know, they start from 0 to a fucking 100 on purpose because the normal moviegoers, because this movie, yes, it's NC-17, it's whatever, but like I saw so many ads on like Instagram from Cineplex itself, like go and see Terrifier 3 now. Like they're advertising it like it's the new Scream franchise, even though it's not rated and shit. So it's like it's getting mainstream attention, and a mainstream audience is not going to be able to handle a lot of this fucking movie, and that's why they're puking and passing out, and like they are not fucking
like here. It's so funny. Speaking of that, like I kind of forget a lot of times that people are not twisted like us, and like like scary and like gore and whatever. And I was sitting upstairs, and I've told this story a few times now, but I was sitting upstairs and I was talking to my parents about the guy that was the cannibal that was on the cannibal websites, like looking for somebody to eat, and was trying to find like a match of someone that would be okay with him eating them and them dying. And like, so I'm telling my parents about this story, and I'm talking about how like, yeah, after they found each other, there were a lot of things that went down. I didn't even talk about like the gruesome, gory details of that. And I was like, yeah, so they got together, and eventually he did in time end up killing him and eating him. And he cut his body up into different pieces like you would as far as like different types of steaks, and kept them in the freezer and whatever. My dad started gagging, and my mom was like, please stop. Please stop. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like I felt so bad. It didn't cross my mind because I'm so used to it that I was like,
you just eat a fucking Joe's ass steak on Thursdays every week, right?
They basically turned that into a movie, right? It's called like it's about a vampire that like hasn't ever killed anyone, and she finds a suicidal teenager.
Is that corduroy pants? Corduroy pants?
No, this
remember that?
I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, I remember corduroy pants. Yes. This just came out, Josh. It's like looking,
but I just remembered corduroy pants.
Yeah, what the fuck was that movie, Josh?
I don't know.
What the fuck was that movie?
But that movie was the equivalent of corduroy pants.
It just makes me laugh at that. It's so like, yeah, that's all we pulled out of it was the main character wearing corduroy pants.
But there was no corduroy pants in the movie. It was an analogy for the movie being so indie that it was like a pair of corduroy pants bought from a thrift store and worn unironically. That was the movie. It was a pair of brown corduroy pants.
And
that's funny.
All I have to think of.
Well, and they do like a segment on the IT crowd of the same concept. Like they're having this guy's having them over for dinner and blah blah blah. And it turns out he thinks that they're there to get eaten.
Like that movie Fresh.
Hey, we're here to watch the game.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched Fresh.
Oh, you'd like it. You'd like it.
Fresh is great. Fresh is great.
Sebastian is just. I just watched that Trump movie.
He's hot.
He just played Trump.
I want to see that. The Apprentice.
He did a good job. Like he's just a wicked actor. Like I don't know. It just got put on Plex, and I'm like, we like biopics. I watched it, and I'm like, it's fucking Trump. Who fucking gives a shit? But he was good as Trump, so whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have you guys voted and all that shit yet?
Yep,
I have, and initially the plan was to be out of this country by election day.
Do it before the purge happened.
Yeah.
Well, the plan was to be out by last weekend because of that. And then when my parents had suggested us staying an extra like week or two, and Katz was like, "Yeah, let's do it," my brain did not click. I was partially drunk when we agreed to it, and
but now you get to go see movies.
Katz was like, "Oh shit," and I was like, I really hope they let me out of the country.
Oh, luckily he won't be able to do insane things till January. So
I know, but there could be like a flood of people trying to get into Canada again.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that happened. That did happen.
Yeah. In 2016.
No.
And there's just a whole bunch of Ukrainians here now, so they've closed the borders here pretty tight now.
Yeah, and like also, I know you've got a lot going on up there.
Okay. Well, Frankie Freako is it's a pretty decisive movie, but I had fun with it. I think I'm more in the middle of you two. I mean, I'm obviously in the middle of you two, but I think it's a cool movie. I think it was a good time. So
I love that this is because I had no clue. I just said, hey, this movie's coming out. I hadn't even watched it yet. And I was like, I'm coming on to do this. because of these people. And honestly, there's a lot of other actual horror movies that I would have loved to dove into, but you already talked about them and stuff. So
the one that I want Kin to watch and talk about still that we haven't done is Alien Romulus. So Kin hasn't.
Oh, you haven't done it yet?
No, because
not yet. It's on Plex though, right?
Oh yeah,
it
is.
Yeah, I'll watch it with
I
Cats
wanted to
'cause he
talk
really
about
wants
The
to watch it.
Substance because that was fucking fantastic.
We did that last week. I wish. Yeah.
Rod and Brian did that last week. I didn't get to join.
Yeah, Ken hasn't watched it all yet. I went into that movie knowing nothing, and
Same.
I've been
And
screaming.
Diana watched it with me because I sold it as the trailer. I had no clue, and I didn't know it was horror at all. To be honest, I was like, I had no clue what the fuck it was.
You didn't know it was you don't know it's a Cronenberg movie.
Yes. I was like,
Listen,
Dennis,
all I want is the Cronenberg game. Okay, like just.
Dude,
it's a Cronenberg.
It's a Cronenberg. I do that all the time now in public, and people just look at me like I have 10 heads. I do it all the time to Glitter, and he just looks at me and he's like, dude, I have explained this to you 15 times. It's a Cronenberg.
Cronenberg.
Dude, the trailer doesn't show any of the body horror that comes out, and you're just
Cronenberg's son is better. That's all I can say, and I will say that with 100%. Like always, I love people that
I don't know if I say he's better. He might be better now, but he still doesn't have a movie as good as The Fly. So that's the
fucking cares. His dad is washed up.
Okay.
Because what was that fucking movie with that I was I hated?
Crime, the Future, Past, Present.
Oh my god.
And yeah. Josh hated it. Okay. Ken, do you want to talk about Alien Romulus next week? Are you gonna be able to do next week?
Yeah, I should be able to. I think we get back on like Saturday or something. or Sunday. I don't know. I'll be
fucking
able to.
cat.
Okay. It's so fucking cute, Ken.
Oh my god, I can't. I just can't.
So sweet. He's very hyper and happy for like 30 minutes, and then he sleeps for hours because he's a kitten. He's a very, very little baby. So
I love him. I
can't.
Is that his official name?
I can't. I just can't.
His name was initially Mogwai, and then Cats met him and called him Beef, and I didn't like the name Beef.
You could call him Beef Squatch.
Well, I was okay with it. I was like, okay, we'll go with Beef if that's what you want to name him. And then I went on to be like, I didn't get to name any of my fucking cats, but okay. But then anyway, we got to talking about it, and he was like, I feel like he's more of a Bean. And I was like, I agree. So now this is Bean. This is my little beanie weenie.
Oh, that's so cute. So cute.
Fuck.
Okay. We'll do Alien Romulus next week. Josh, you're always welcome to tag us and say you want to come talk about something.
Yes, please.
Because we love you.
Joshua.
Yeah, Ken and I were talking about how excited we were for you to come back and talk. So
yeah.
So Alien Romulus next week. Josh, we love you and thank you for being awesome. And I'm glad that you can come talk to us and be cool. So
and then the week after we do Heretic, most likely.
Sounds good to me. Because
I'm gonna
try to go see that.
No.
It's the Hugh Grant movie with the two the
right,
Mormon girls who come to his door.
That looks good.
Yeah. No. It's supposed to, Ken's favorite type of horror is religious
horror. Anytime that there's religious horror, I'm all about it.
That's why, dude, I feel so weird. I don't know. Josh, do you have an opinion on this? Because we kind of talked about it, and I think Ken was on this page too. I liked Immaculate better than the First Omen. And
I did too.
And it seems like most people are the other way around, and I don't get it.
I didn't see the First Omen, but Immaculate was all right. It, like I said, it was just missing more of Sweeney Todd's boobs. That's all. I just wanted more of that. That's it. What? She's in a movie.
I think that Immaculate.
I just wanted more of her boobs. That's it. I love her boobs.
Yep.
I think that Immaculate Saving Grace is definitely the end. I think
without that the movie would have been useless.
No. It would have been meh. But then what was that movie we watched not too long ago with the baby hand and the no talking? No. Didn't we watch that for the podcast?
The baby hand?
where they didn't speak the whole movie because speaking had been outlawed.
Oh
and they
no,
cut
that
their
is
throats.
that's the what do you call it movie? The A one. We didn't watch that with the chick from
Oh,
Ready or Not.
that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Azrael.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Azrael is really good.
Okay.
And I think if you compared it to Immaculate, it's better than Immaculate in some regards.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Okay, so next week we'll do Alien Romulus. Josh, plug all your shitties. Are you still putting the episodes up on the website for this, by the way, Josh? Or linking them? Okay.
No.
I just sent them there for I figured you weren't, but like I go for merch. I don't know if anyone's buying any merch, but
yeah, no, I don't know. Like, yeah,
Okay.
I've just I do my own thing. I have I have a bunch of websites that I take care of, so it's not on the docket anymore.
Okay, cool. So we'll tell everyone where to find you, Josh.
I'm Josh WRB on every platform. I'm working on an app, wrbcard.com. It's coming soon. That's all. There's wrbdesign.co. That's my new incorporated company with all the things that I've had to do. And yeah, if you need anything marketing wise, advertising, that's what I do.
Nice. Ken, all your stuff.
hello, my name is Continue, KINTINUE. You can find me at twitch.tv/continue Sunday through Friday from 8 a.m. Eastern till 3 p.m. Pacific. That's Pacific, not specific. And I've been on playing Satisfactory now for like 2 months, so I guess that's where I live. So if you want to come and do that, you're welcome to. I'm also on X or Twitter. I cannot believe I called it X. That's gross. And other social medias. And I'm going back to the land of the fucking freezing ass cold next week. So I'm going to go sit outside in the sun and read while there is sun.
It's 8 degrees right now. Or Celsius now, right?
It has been sort of. It was like 0 and 1 Celsius all week last week there, and I was like, fuck all of this. I am not ready. Like, it is 75 degrees Fahrenheit here. I am quite fine.
Jesus.
And I'm Rod_Johnston on everything, so find me on Twitch and everything. And I've been playing Silent Hill 2, and then yeah, I think that's what I'm going to be doing for a little bit. So
Hell yeah.
And I love you, Josh. And yeah, we will catch you guys next week.
I love you, Joshua.
Joshua. And we'll catch you next week for Alien Romulus. So love you. See you next week. Bye. Bye. Bye.